Ever wondered how it was possible to be able to generate $1 million of revenue from teaching martial arts, but thinking that you're going to need a huge staff and just not exactly sure how you're going to do that? Well, today I'm going to be teaching you how it is possible to generate $1 million a year in revenue, and you don't even need a large staff. Hi everybody, my name is Jennifer Waters and I am the Sales and Systems Sensei. I help martial arts schools with my 7-figure dojo program scale their schools to 7 figures without a huge overhead using our dojo scaling system and a dojo assistant. So in this video, I'm going to show you what I did with my own flagship martial arts school that's allowed me to generate over $10 million of revenue in the last several years. And there's a secret to doing this that I want to make sure that I tell you so you don't have to keep spinning your wheels forever. The very first thing that you must do is you have to install systems within your dojo. I know that seems simple, right? Oh yeah, just write a few systems, put it in an operations manual. How many times have we heard that? And voila, now you have systems that everyone's operating off of. And although that may be true, the problem with this is that your systems are living and breathing organisms. You have to constantly be checking on them. Do they still fit where we currently are in our revenue model? Does this work with the things that we're trying to have our students do and our staff learn? What are the key behaviors that we want to see consistently happen over and over and over again on autopilot? And really, this is what separates the martial arts schools and any business that starts off from those that are still hanging around 10 years later. As a matter of fact, the SBA estimates that only 33% of small businesses that start will actually survive the 10-year mark. And I'm here to tell you that it's tough. One of the reasons why it's so tough is because there's so many different things to do, and as a business owner, you could get stuck in the rat race of trying to do them all. So before you hire staff, before you go, I'm just going to hire a bunch of people to help me get this work done, the first thing that I want you to do is sit down and start writing out a system from beginning to end. How do I actually make sure that people are coming in the door, and how do I make sure that they are getting their martial arts classes taught to them in the manner and quality for which I want? Once you've done that, you have started the foundation of creating a system. Now, there are different systems that are more important than other systems, which is one of the reasons that we help our clients be able to do that and use our dojo scaling system in the correct order. But the core issue that I'm trying to tell you here is if you don't have any written systems, if you don't have a way for other people to go, okay, this is the task and the job that I do, and you just go out and hire a bunch of staff, it's not going to work out in the end. The other thing that you have to think about is you need to get into this mindset that you are going to constantly be selling. There is no time frame where you're going to go, you know what, I have enough martial arts students and I'm just going to stop selling new programs to new people. It just won't work. And the reason why is because you need to think about your martial arts school as if it were a bucket. And inside that bucket, you unfortunately have lots of little holes that are in the bucket. Now, some of them are big holes, some of them are small holes, but they all are causing leaks to occur. Now, the manner and the type of leaks that you have are a direct reflection of the systems that you have or the lack of systems that you have. So if you start noticing, gosh, I can only keep students for 6 months at a time, you have a huge leak in your retention. If you start going, gosh, I am barely making rent and I'm barely paying my bills, then you have a huge hole in cash revenue coming in your door to sustain your business. And you want to start taking a look at those things. But here's the cure for all of those things. If you go and you just start trying to plug holes, you're going to end up without enough fingers to plug those holes and not enough patches. So as you're still working on your business and you're still working in your business, if you're doing both simultaneously, you have to make sure that you can fill that bucket with new students and new revenue coming in the door faster than the leaks are causing that revenue to go out the door. So if you do not have an automatic system for generating leads and generating new students with new revenue, it's going to be very hard to keep that line in the bucket close to the top. Because eventually you are going to have a dried up bucket. You've leaked out everything and you're barely making it. So the next step is to install an automated system so it generates leads for you and generates new students with a snap of the fingers. The final step that you must have within your martial arts school, if you're serious about generating 7 figures within your martial arts dojo, is you have to have transformational programs. Long gone are the days when you can just say, I teach punches and kicks, or I teach this new style of martial arts, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, or I teach you how to be a cage fighter, or I teach you what, you get the idea. You can't do that anymore. Martial arts has become too commoditized. You go from one end of the street to the other end of the street and somebody's teaching something that has to do with martial arts. And you can't just say that you are the local authority for self-defense, or your self-defense is better than someone else's self-defense, or your people have won more titles than these people have won. All of that's irrelevant to most consumers. And let's face it, guys, not a lot of people are into martial arts the same way we are into martial arts. So if that's the case, we are marketing our schools and our programs to the common average person who may have seen martial arts on TV or knows somebody who does martial arts, but doesn't know the intricate details. And I'm going to pass it on to you guys. Most people don't dream of becoming the next UFC champion. Most people just dream about doing something cool, like, oh, I think martial arts might be pretty neat. And that's the problem, is that we haven't introduced them to all the things that martial arts really could do for them, and how it could transform their mind, their body, and their outlook on life. Listen, one of the best transformational stories that I have is in my flagship school. We have a lady, she's joined one of our programs, and when she joined that program, she set out to lose some weight and to transform her life. Well, within 90 days, she's lost over 40 pounds. And on top of that, she went from a depressed state to one of the most energetic and outgoing people that you'll ever meet. And this was all because we had a built-in transformation. Listen, this was on purpose, not by accident. And that's when you really know if you have a transformational type program. Are people getting these results like all the time? Or is it just a every now and then type of thing? And if it's an every now and then type of thing, I think you might want to go back and see what are you doing to cause transformation, not it just happens sometimes. Because if you can't cause transformation, then you don't have a transformational program. So again, to wrap everything up, the 3 things that you must do in order to generate 7 figures from your martial arts dojo are, number 1, get systems in place. Make sure that you can walk out the door of your dojo and somebody is still following the step-by-steps. 2, make sure that you are thinking about selling in perpetuity. You are going to continue selling until you're done with your martial arts dojo. So you've got to have leads that are constantly coming in the door, and you've got to have new students that are constantly joining. And the third thing is you have to make sure that your programs are actually transformational. And if you're doing all 3 of these things, then you should be generating 7 figures every single year just from teaching martial arts. And you don't need a huge staff to do this. It starts with you. Now, guys, if you're interested in finding out how I've helped my own martial arts school generate $365,000 in less than 90 days, make sure you watch this video. In this video, I'll be breaking down the exact steps so that you can implement some of these things in your own martial arts dojo. I'll see you guys in the next video.